It's Saturday, and it's 100% time to just be a spectator. The last few days have been so much fun. Winning Thursday was great. Yesterday was kind of a day to recuperate, think about how the games went, and actually put together a video, so publish that already. So if you haven't been to the CrossFit Games as a spectator, this is Vendor Village. It is huge and insane. It's a crazy amount of things happening all the time.
Go ahead and stand. Let's put those chairs off to the side and barbells. You're gonna keep your barbells.
Alright, it's time for triathlon training. I'm not following a training program. I may look one up to see if there's kind of a last 30 days before a half Ironman triathlon, but I'll have to check that out. I may even touch base with a couple of experts to just see what would be the best thing to do over the next 30 days. But what I do know is that I'm ready to move. It's really hard for me to not work out, to not move, to not do anything. So today's agenda, I'm gonna run 5 miles. I just made that up in my head. I was thinking 3 to 5. I'm gonna run 5 miles. I'm gonna come back and I'm actually just gonna do a little bit of a workout. I've got some goblet squats, some burpees, and some time on the ski erg just to get the blood flowing and make sure that I'm getting through full ranges of motion. I wanna maintain that ability while I'm not doing really heavy, crazy stuff on the CrossFit side of things right now. I'm already ready to get back to it, but I do have a triathlon to train for, so I'm gonna get running right now. En route to Des Moines, Iowa. That's the next stop. What's in Des Moines, Iowa? Just a destination, a big lake that we have to be staying at. And luckily, it looks like there's swimming there. Got to get used to that water. It is very strange traveling without a specific purpose. Now it's just Iowa because that's where we're gonna live for a week. It's been about a week since the CrossFit Games ended for me as a Masters athlete, and I've been reflecting on some things that went right. So I thought I'd share with you 3 things I did right leading up to or at like the CrossFit Games. And I'll share a couple of things that I learned along the way as well, of course. So one of the things that went right was I was well trained. I was well prepared for this. And I follow training consistently. I am a Mayhem athlete, so I follow Mayhem. And whatever it says, I do. Like, if it's 1 session for the day, I do that. If it's 2 sessions, I do that. And I don't really deviate from that whatsoever. And I've really enjoyed having, like, subject matter experts as part of the Mayhem team. Bergner Strength is helping us stay strong. Olympic lifting, like, all of that stuff is just built into it. Chris Hinshaw has aerobic capacity built into it. Again, whatever it says, I follow that. I actually ran into Chris Hinshaw after the final award ceremony at the Coliseum, and he was so cool. He insisted on getting a picture with me, and I shared with him how grateful I was for the aerobic capacity training that we've been doing for the past year because when it came to this run, I was ready. That makes me think about being well trained makes us great for performance. And it was something that I'm learning. The more and more I compete, the more I learned that my body, when it's well trained, can do things that I can't even imagine. You know, if you were to tell me like, hey Jason, the only way you can win the 4.5 mile run is to run a 6 minute and 40-second mile time for the entire thing. I don't run that fast. I don't run that fast when I'm testing a mile in training. Like, that is a blistering pace for a guy like me. It's insane. But then when it came to that actual event at the games, 3, 2, 1, go, I know my guys and I know that I want to win this event. So I had an idea of what my pace was going to be and how quickly I was going to get around these laps. But what it came down to was this guy in front of me, Craig, I don't remember Craig's last name, but he was in front of me and I was not going to lose him. And what that meant was that we ended up running this ridiculously insane pace. It hurt, it was hard, and on the last lap, he slowed down, I sped up, I finished, I won the race, it was fantastic. Afterwards, you know, all the guys are just going straight to ice baths, which is fine. So for me, I'm gonna go get hydrated. So I'm gonna go grab my recovery drink, and this is the second idea, or the things I did right. I fueled appropriately for the games, leading up to the games, during the games, and at the games. It's really important to fuel appropriately while you're out there and hydrate appropriately. I'm just going to consider all that fuel. Guys are jumping into the tanks, and I know we have another event within 2.5 hours. I just ran an insane 4.5 mile sprint in my book, and my body feels okay. I drank 1 or 2 waters out on the field, dumped some water on my head to cool me down. Then when we went back, I go straight in, grab my recovery drink, which if you've watched my supplements video, you know my recovery drink is just water, vegetable glycerin, salt, sugar. I drink that because it is excellent for hyperhydration. Like, it gets you hydrated fast. So I drink that, and I know that recovery drink, a nutritionist that I follow is called the People's Chemist. The guy is super opinionated. Years ago, he shared on YouTube or something this recovery drink, and I've used it since then. It's miraculous for me. It's the only recovery drink I've ever used. It's amazing. After drinking that, I rested a couple of minutes, got on a bike, started to just kind of let my body cool down while I was on a bike, then back to my bag to grab another shaker bottle. This had just protein in it, just whey protein and water, no big deal. Really, I needed to maintain protein throughout the day, but it was hard to eat. I was nervous, hard to eat. So just drinking more water in that protein drink for hydration and getting a little protein in my system to get me ready for the next event, which is gonna be outside in like 2-3 hours. As far as fueling overall, I hit my numbers and hit my macros every day if I can, as close as I can, to make sure that my body is well fueled, well recovered, has all the fuel it needs. Between events, I would eat a mini lunch. Like, I needed actual food in my system. And over the 3 days, it got harder and harder and harder to actually eat because I was just, I was nervous and kind of still in the zone, still in this focus zone where you're just not hungry when that's happening, but you have to eat. And I was talking with a competitor, during the award ceremony, and I was like, I just couldn't eat. It was so hard. She's like, yeah, I was trying to jam food down into the system, and like, you're fighting this like battle between, you kind of want to throw it up, but kind of want to get it down. But you have to eat. And so I fueled and hydrated. Before each workout, I had little applesauce packs just to make life really simple. It's kind of my pre-workout. Like, I'm not drinking shakers of pre-workout. I'm not taking caffeine pills, or I don't know. There's some really weird stuff that people do. I like to try to keep it super simple. And I know that I'm gonna need some quick carbs. So applesauce, perfect. And I'm not gonna lie, I did have a small amount of gummy bears because they're just pure glucose before a couple of the events. It just felt like I'm gonna need this for this event, pay attention to my body, and just do that. So fueling well in training or fueling well in competition, I'm gonna hit my macros every day. And in competition, I'm gonna try to do some of that during the day, most of it during the night, so my body is just ready. I'm gonna try to eat the same stuff that I eat in competition as I do when I'm training, because my body's just used to all of that. So consistent training, consistent eating was something else that I did right. And lastly, and this was kind of a new one for this year, I did a lot of training in uncommon situations, in unfamiliar situations. And I think that's an advantage. It gives me a sense of awareness, of spatial awareness, of what's going on around me. I think about trying to find a flat spot at an RV park to do back squats or snatch. I think about, how much handstand walks I did with work gloves on gravel or on grass that was just uneven, so that when it came to doing handstand walks out on the turf grass, it was like luxurious. So easy. The handstand walk was a breather in the workout because I wasn't like trying to make sure I didn't put my hand down a hole somewhere or step on a rock with my hand. Also working out in unfamiliar boxes or gyms along the way. Every gym that I went to had a different style of bar or kind of a different looking weight plates, a different bar, different rings, different rope. So I got to practice in lots of unfamiliar circumstances in order to be ready for whatever they give us at the games. And they give us the best equipment, the flattest ground. Now, there was the one event that had double unders on the turf. I did not practice my double unders in grass. Never thought I would need to, but now we're going to be adding that to the list of like, okay, sometimes I got to do double unders in the grass to figure that out. And that was kind of a fun challenge. Now, one other bonus thing that I was thinking about, and here's something that I'm doing wrong and I'm going to fix, and I bet you're doing it wrong as well. The week before the games, I spent a lot of time at Big Dane CrossFit, and there were a ton of games athletes there. I bumped into Justin Medeiros, got a picture with him, just the champ, it's no big deal. Brendan Fikowski was there, Jeffrey Adler, and a bunch of teams. These lots of names, lots and lots of people were there. There's just a few. What I noticed is their warm-up is lengthy and very intentional. I watched Jeffrey Adler, who's just a fit young guy. Man, this guy can lift so much weight. I watched his warm-up, and he was deliberately warming up just his legs and his knees for like 10 minutes. I also watched this team from Finland, do these Cossack squats with dumbbells in their hands and strict pressing in Cossack squats as part of their warm-up. They were drenched by the end of their warm-up. And that's one of the things that I've been guilty of lately, just because it always feels like it takes so much time, is rushing through my warm-up, doing all the things I'm supposed to do as part of my warm-up, but really moving quickly through it so that I can just get this work done. And what I'm going to do now is just allow myself to have a little more breathing room in my warm-up. I'm going to do everything I need to do to get warm for every movement so that I prevent injury. Having a solid warm-up helps with that. It helps just lubricate our joints and have us ready to perform at our best in training, and overall injury prevention. I just want to make sure that I stay healthy for the long haul. I've got this really sore elbow, so the next few weeks kind of taking a break from anything that would cause this elbow to get angry. My lower back is tight, it's fine, but there's some things that I could be doing in my warm-up to help ensure that I'm safe and injury-free for the long run. So that is one thing that I've been doing wrong. I've been hurrying through my warm-ups. So my advice to you and to me, take your time. Man, there is nothing wrong with sharpening the axe before you use it. Take the time to do it. It's super, super important. Those are my takeaways. The takeaway for you is this. Whatever you're doing, whether you're just starting out or you're an aspiring games athlete, consistent training, consistent nutrition, eating the right things, and putting yourself in situations that you're not super comfortable with. Maybe trying out a new gym or trying out a new workout area. These are things you can do to improve your life, whether you're looking to shed 20 pounds or looking to qualify for the 2022 CrossFit Games. These will definitely help. And if you need assistance, I'm here. I'm happy to help. Shoot me a message, leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer any and all of your questions because I love this stuff. I love supporting you guys. I love having dialogue with you guys. And thank you to every one of you that came to say hi to me at the games this year. It was super fun to meet a lot of you in person.